Welcome to Wake Up Warrior TV. We're calling it the Wake Up TV show every single week here with Garrett J. White, the master coach, mentor, my guests and my friends, and a few individuals. I'm going to change it a little bit here. Looks like my forehead's a little white and shiny. Of course, that could be because I'm white and I'm shiny, but we'll see if we can make it a little bit better. Anyways, I'm excited to be here every single week for about 30 minutes. Mondays at 12 noon Pacific, 1 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock, shit, it's too many numbers, Central. And anyways, you get the point. We're excited to be here on Wake Up TV. I'm going to be bringing a topic at you every single week, during which we're going to have a conversation. Now, these first couple, I'm going to be laying down the groundwork for how the show's going to work. And then as we get moving, here with my friend and our executive producer, Zane. Zane, I don't know if they can hear you. Can I hear you, dude?
Yes, they can. Oh, excuse me. Fighting a bit of a cold. Sorry.
Dude, no reason to be sorry about the cold. The truth is, your microphone sounds so much better than my damn Mac. I gotta go get a cool microphone. If I can't get the deep booming voice, it's not gonna be nearly as cool. So
yeah, it's well, the microphone that I use is a Blue Snowball mic. It's less than $100, and I've had it for like 4 years. I love it.
Blue snowballs, my friends, not to be confused with blue balls and any other aspect. We're talking about blue snowballs. Don't let your mind go there. Don't let your mind go there. All right. So wake up, TV. Oh, there you are, dude. You're looking nice today. You look nice.
Thank you. Well, now that we're actually a live show and stuff, I figure I might want to comb my hair and stuff.
I like it. Well, we're gonna have to do something about getting you the Wake Up Warrior shirt, buddy.
Oh so, yeah, you need it. Yeah.
Don't worry, yours is coming. Yours is coming. Okay, cool. So let's get back on. So Zane's gonna be here with me every single week. He's kind of our co-conspirator here in the Wake Up movement, also setting up the Wake Up Network, dealing with the Wake Up Warrior games that we're talking about this year and a bunch of other stuff going down there. But today we're going to have a conversation. And that conversation is going to be around one simple word, and that word is endurance. I use the air horn. Why? Because I like it. I actually use these at our Warrior Week boot camps in Laguna Beach, California. And the first time I used this horn, I turned it sideways, and I pushed the button like this, and all the fluid came in, and it didn't work. It was like dramatic. At 25 hardcore dudes were about to run down the beach, and I go, "Arr!" and I put it up, and it didn't work. So anyways, we're going to use a little horn. The word today is endurance. Now, that grotesque picture that you would have seen that was occurring, hold on just a second, that was occurring on my Facebook page, or you got it via email, or you saw it in an ad, or however you saw it, oh, there it is. That image right there, that is my Achilles tendon. Now, you can see it right down through. See a little white piece right underneath the bloody gauze? That is literally the Achilles tendon. It's not bone. It looks like bone. That's a tendon. Tendon kind of looks like bone, I came to find out. So that, yeah, let me tell you a little story about how that happened. And then we're going to link into this idea of endurance. So September 2011, I pulled the maneuver. And the maneuver was I had done 6 years of endurance athletics, and I decided to get into CrossFit. And I didn't sleep through the night. I was up all night long working on a project with one of my old business partners. Her name was Heather Matter with Wake Up Academy. Wonderful woman, powerful woman, amazing business partner. And we were launching this next day on this project, this program we created. So I stayed up all night long, did all the technical work for it, got it all supported, and then I was like, dude, I'm pumped. I could go to sleep or I could go work out. So I went to CrossFit, showed up late, got into box jumps, and it was an epic workout. And as I'm doing the box jumps really, really fast. I come down off the boxes, and I feel what feels like someone dropping their kettlebell on my Achilles tendon. What had occurred at that point was that my Achilles tendon ruptured, literally broke in half. Not CrossFit's fault, not box jumps' fault. We're going to talk about how this is all relative here and to your life here in just a moment. But I tore it and had surgery, got it fixed. 2 months later, I'm in a trailer. In the back of a trailer, we're moving to Phoenix, Arizona from Salt Lake City, Utah. And I slip out of the trailer the day after I get out of the boot. And I land, and my Achilles tendon only had 90-degree flexibility, and snapped it again. My father-in-law, who was out there with me at the time, had never heard the word fuck more in his entire life. As I screamed, fuck, motherfuck, motherfuck, whatever version of fuck you could think of, I threw it in there. Cow fuck, motherfuck, father fuck, uncle fuck. I threw everything in there, and then I ended up in a pile, sobbing mess on the floor. It was actually the driveway, and it was in November of 2011. And I knew I had torn it again. My father-in-law was so damn scared about what had just happened. He'd never seen me snap like this. And see, this is the point about life, is that when you are pushing to the limits, there's going to be moments in your world, in your business, in your marriage, in your life, where flat out you are absolutely going to lose it. And the marketplace is going to see a side of you that you either accept as part of who you are, or they're going to be surprised as hell by this piece that you reject and pretend does not exist in who you are, which is this raging asshole. Literally, I was sending this text to my wife. I'm not kidding you. I literally sent this text to my wife here about 45 minutes ago. You want me to, I'm going to tell you what it says. Zane, you want to hear what it says?
I would love to hear what it says, because I can most definitely relate. In fact, the first time that you and I met was when I was actually in like a week-long phase of raging asshole.
Yes, you were.
Just,
yes, you were. I saw you.
I totally hear you, man.
I was like, there's an asshole right there. There he came walking. I was like, there you go. Take a picture and put him on Wikipedia. That's it. Here's what I sent. Literally, I'm not bullshitting you. I literally just sent this a little bit. You could probably see it. Here's what I said. I've been channeling a ton of my inner angry asshole dark warrior this past 30 days, which is all through the holidays, my friends. I love you, babe. I'm gonna find a way to ship this today. And then I made some. She was asking about money with some other stuff, and I said, no worries, I'll have it wired today. And then she texted me back, and she said, yep, I would agree. You've been a total asshole. Now, here is the crazy piece about this, okay? Endurance, don't lose me here with my message, my friends. Endurance is the topic we're in today, about how to find it, how to access it, and how to maintain it in order to get the shit done you want in life. Comes down to this idea and this reality that there is a piece of you that is dark and there is a piece of you that is light, and they work together to produce results, which means you can't have epic results without your asshole. Like, you cannot have big ass results in your life without understanding there's a piece of you that is going to be required in the endurance process. It's this ruthless pit bull experience in who you and I are, who says, I don't give a shit about what is going down around me. I will bite onto this thing, and I will not let go until I get things done. This show, the rollout of our app, which you can get in the iTunes store at Wake Up Warrior, the Android app that's coming out in a week, which same place you'll be able to get it under Wake Up Warrior, the radio show M3 that's launching on Wednesday with two of my co-hosts, over 700,000 men and women that have seen the Wake Up Warrior video series. All of this shit culminated in the end of November, and I went on a rampage for 5 weeks. Wanted to quit 700 times during that 5 weeks in order to push everything we've been working on over the edge. Now, what does this matter? Let's come back and let's take a little look at this. What does it matter? Okay, so let's come back to the bloody Achilles tendon. So I torn it a second time, and this one broke me. I mean, just broke me emotionally. I'm lying there in the driveway. My wife comes out, and she's like weeping, trying to figure out what had happened, and I realize I've torn it again. I end up putting a boot on, drive my family to Arizona where we were moving. I get back on a plane, fly back to Salt Lake City, have surgery the next morning for the second time. This time they put the big-ass tendon in there, the fake one. It was literally off some dude's back. Puts it into my leg, and for the next 9 to 10 months, I'm on crutches, hobbling along. Now, the picture you see there, shit gets worse. I mean, it gets worse. March 2012, I'm living in Arizona. We're at the Walmart. Yes, my friends. I frequent the Walmart. I got no problem with it. Bouncing yellowhead, there's some shit we get at the Walmart. I love it. And people are crazy at Walmart. Zane, would you agree people are crazy at Walmart?
Oh, 100% agree. They're all crazy. I'm one of them.
Yeah. And that's why I belong to be there occasionally, because I'm the craziest probably of them all.
Yep.
So I'm going into Walmart. We're going down this aisle, and I'm going to get some protein bars, and my crutches slip. My right crutch, the rubber nub slips off the crutch slides. I had just gotten out of my boot after the second surgery. My foot comes to catch myself, and it goes, you know, like if this was like the floor, and my foot's going, I'm crutching along, and my foot goes to catch myself. And when that happened, it ruptured. Can you put that little picture back up again?
Yeah, sure.
Everybody can see that picture. So what you see underneath there, that was the skin literally ripped open. And what was underneath that was the tendon. And I remember I looked down at my foot and blood is gushing out of my socks and my compression sleeve that I was wearing. My shoe is filling up with blood. The ground is filling up with blood in the grocery store grocery store aisle at Walmart. And I remember I'm lying there, and for the first time with my Achilles tendon injury, like I literally just fucking quit. Like energetically up to that point, I had been like all in. I mean, I was like, I will get better. Hell no, I've been through this. See, that has some fake teeth up in there, my friends. Yeah. Whoa. I've had cancer. I've been wired shut for 7 months. I've been knocked out, choked out, beat up, bankrupt, sued, destroyed, divorced, you name it. Unconsciously blackout because I took too many drugs or drank too much. I'm out. You name it, the game has been extreme for me my whole life. So giving up was just something I didn't know, and maybe for you it's that way too. The most aggressive warriors that I know, they go and 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 go to produce until finally the knockout blow comes. And when the knockout blow comes, it's like they're sitting there and their head got put up on a tee, and it's like, BAM! And it's the final blow. And you see this epic warrior just get knocked the fuck out. And that was me, lying there. And I remember we get up and we go to the hospital, and I'm lying there realizing this is the third time. I'm an athlete. The reality of never being able to possibly walk normal again is starting to set in. Like, all this shit's going down. And I'm lying there in the hospital. We actually have video of this. I don't have video here for it. Maybe I'll post it up here as a link. We took video of it because I needed to send it back to my surgeons so they could see what was going on, what had happened. I'm lying in the emergency room, and they're moving my foot to see where the tendon's at. And you can see it through this gaping hole in my leg. And I remember I was sitting there just crying, just weeping. And I'm like, fuck, baby, I can't do this anymore. And meanwhile, I got to produce for my family. You know, I've got to take care of my business responsibilities. I've take care of my kids, take care of my wife, take care of my life. And yet I was broken. See, and part of endurance is finding out who you are past the broken phase. See, the average people can push up in the game until shit gets really heavy, shit gets really hard, and then at that point they're like, oh shit, I can't. I couldn't go until I get broken. But once I get broken, I don't know where to go from there. And see, when we get broken in that phase, oftentimes it's a voice crying out in the wilderness to us. It's someone close to us, or fuck, maybe it's even this video. Maybe it's a video or a post that I make here with Warrior. And why so much I want you to make sure that you've got this app on your phone, simply because it's going to give you updates. I'm pulling up the app right now. Getting this app on your phone so that you can have access to it. Regardless of whether you ever invest in big ticket stuff with what we're doing, that you've got access to the tool, at least from someone in your life, to be in your ear, yelling at you and calling at you like a voice from the wilderness when you're broken and saying, get up. You can do this. And my voice that day in the hospital happened to come from my beautiful 5'3" little 105-pound little goddess supermodel wife, who started coaching. And see, what's interesting about this experience, see, your breakdowns lead to other people's breakthroughs. And here I was in a situation with my breakdown, and my wife was given this opportunity to step up. And she looked in my eyes, and she tells us later, 2 years later, she says, I saw in your eyes, I'd never seen the light go out like I saw go out in you that day in the hospital in the emergency room. Like, I'd never seen you that broken, and it scared me because you've always fought. And here I was looking at you, and you were broke. And I knew I needed to do something. And for those that are watching in this endurance game, maybe you don't have a family member that could be there in your emergency room situation. Maybe when you're lying down there, you're hemorrhaging, you're bleeding financially, or you're a single mom with kids, and you don't feel like you got anybody out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, Wake Up Warrior is committed to being a voice, at least one of the voices that can be in your life. with the Sunday sermon, what we're doing here on Monday shows, what we're doing on Wednesday's radio shows, what I'm doing on the blog posts and the daily rants, all of this is a gift. Why? Because God called me to share it this way, my friend. And I just listen. So my wife starts coaching into my world, and I start to shift the way I'm thinking. And she said one thing to me. She said, listen, it's never going to come about in the timeline that you think it needs to come about in. So just surrender to the process and do what you can today. And that takes us to this message of endurance. And it's become the mantra for how I live in all aspects of my life. Now, having done, for example, Ironman, as many, this is my little certificate to go to the World Championships in 07. Heading back and doing a little Ironman this year. I would be lying if I didn't tell you the Achilles tendon is going to be an interesting dilemma this year with the running aspect. I can pound it pretty hard, but we're going to see how it goes. But all of this training and running, you know, after I did 3 years of Ironman, I started running ultramarathons, mostly because I was trying to find myself. And so I'd run outside. Some mornings, at one point where 32 days in a row, I ran a marathon every single morning for training for this 188-mile foot race that I was going to do in southern Utah called the Red Rock Relay. I read a book by this guy named Dean Karnassi. He had written a book called Ultra Marathon, man, and it just lit my mind on fire with some possibilities. And so I started down this road of running. And the thing that's interesting about running, and I harnessed that power into the space I'm in. And the thing that's interesting about getting hurt and jacked up is that the people that we know today who have the most endurance, the most capacity, and the most power to produce results in their lives, the ones who we're most inspired by because of the shit of how often they get knocked out and how quickly they get back up. And maybe they didn't get back up quickly, but the fact is they kept getting back up. See, we're inspired by this kind of activity. We're inspired by this kind of behavior. Why? Because there's a piece inside of each one of us that knows that you were fundamentally put here in this planet, this ball of mud, to experience growth. That's it, to grow. And to make choices in that growth process, and that through the growth and through the choices that you and I would be able to see new possibilities based upon our ability to operate and to utilize our agency, to choose. See, lying on that table in the emergency room next to my wife, what my wife was speaking into my reality was that I had a choice. And although I felt broken, I had a choice. And it's happened for me financially. It's happened for me emotionally in my marriage. It's happened for me with my children. I sat there that night my wife was pregnant with our second child, my third. I had one from my first marriage, my son Parker, who's 15. And my wife wakes me up at 2 o'clock in the morning bawling and sobbing and says, listen, this can't keep going. We can't keep going like this. We have to shift. Something has to change or I'm out. And I'm sitting here going, dude, it's like 2 in the morning. Why are we having this conversation right now, only realizing that this conversation should have happened years before? She's like, you've got to choose some. You either are in with us and in with me, or you're not. And at that point, like my wife speaking into my life again, saying, listen, I need you to make a decision. Just like on that table, I needed to make a decision. See, it all comes down to agency. So what is it that gives a human being the capacity to keep trying marketing plans that don't work until it does work? What is it that gives somebody who blogs the capacity to continue to blog every single day when nobody's watching, and then all of a sudden 6-7 months later there's a response? See, people are blown away by some of the responses I'm getting nowadays in the marketplace, but you know what? I've been doing this shit for 12 years. For the past year, I have become ruthlessly committed to Facebook and creating value. This year, our commitment is to YouTube and creating value. It doesn't show up by miracle. See, your biggest breakthroughs come on the other side of your breakdowns, and in between your breakdown and your breakthrough is what? A choice. So there's a little formula I use to support me in this. And that is simply this, that my fruit tomorrow is plucked from the trees I plant today. See, one of the things in this game is understanding that scarcity is what has us not have endurance. Scarcity is this idea, this limitation that you and I, well, there's only so much business out there. There's only so much opportunity out there. There's only so much going on. And yet the truth is, this is not the case. It's simply a concept in your own mind of saying there's not enough leads out there. There's not enough opportunity out there. There's not enough time out there. There's not enough ability out there. It's all bullshit. So when we get broken, we immediately default to fear, and that fear itself is driven by this belief system that life itself is small. Why? Because you are small in that moment. Lying on that table, my capacity, my endurance, my clarity, and my confidence had contracted down to this small, tiny little straw through which life was trying to shove all of this possibility and all this power through this straw, but the straw was too small to hold all that power. So as my wife's speaking into my life, what is she saying? She's saying, expand. She's saying, open your eyes to see. She's saying, what possibilities can you see from where you are? Jesus, what was Jesus preaching to the people? I love in Matthew 13 when he's talking about the parable of the sower, and he says, listen, as he's describing it, he lays down the parable, and then he shifts, and then he continues, and he says, listen, this parable of the sower is what? It's a parable that you can only understand if you have eyes to see. And so back and forth for you and I, we're going to constantly be faced with this situation. And the situation, and Zane, do this real quick, mute your thing out, dude. I'm getting like total keyboard chatter. I know you're chatting with other people, dude.
All right, sure thing.
You good, man? So I know if it's distracting me, it's like distracting the rest of you, so we're good. I was like being all channel focused. I was like, be focused, hear the keyboard chatter, you can do it. And I probably could have kept doing it just fine, but I was like, dude, I'm making this easier on myself. So I know Zane's doing a great job for our Zane, seriously, bro. You realize that our show would not be happening right now, and we wouldn't have done the Google Hangouts the last 2 weeks if you hadn't shown up. Like, we wouldn't be doing this.
Hey, dude, it's just like you said. I'm looking for people who want to show up and do their thing and are just relentlessly committed. So it fit just perfectly because that's exactly who you are. So it fits. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to help, man. Love to share your message.
I love it. It means that you're married to a maniac and you accept that that's cool. All right. Okay. So here's the thing, come back then. So we have decided we contract back into this fear, we contract back into this scarcity, and when we do that, our endurance becomes zero. It becomes zero. Jesus was saying, listen, unto he or she who hath eyes to see, let them see and perceive. Buddha and Krishna were teaching the same concepts and same principles to their people. They're saying, listen, there's this war inside of you that's going to constrict you or expand you. And endurance comes back to expansion beyond the typical breakdown. In running, I had to train myself for this 188-mile race. I had to train myself to learn how to run even when I was tired. And I thought it was comical. I was reading this book, Ultra Marathon Man, and he talks about how he would run, and then he would wake up while he was running, and to headlights from a car on a dark freeway or a highway way out in the middle of nowhere when he's running in the middle of the night, training for these 100-mile, 200-mile races. And I'm like, that is so fucking crazy. There's no way. And then it happened to me. And it was crazy because I would train, and my coach was like, listen, you're going to get tired. The way that we need to train this capacity and to build your endurance is we need you to start doing training runs after you've worked all day long, you've been with your family all day long, and you put all the kids to bed. I need you at 10 o'clock p.m. I need you to start running, and you're going to start training your body to run through the night and to survive the next day and be able to functionally move and operate. So the first night I went out and I started running at 10 o'clock at night, and I ran until 5 o'clock in the morning, 7 hours. Not running fast, running like 4 to 5 miles an hour. Run through the night, then I would go to work all day, be with my family all day, and then crash the next night. And we would do this in order to what? To train my brain that when my body wanted to constrict, that I had the choice to expand. Now, this was insane. I would get into these runs. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. My eyes, I can barely keep them open. I'm so tired. I'm like walking, and the whole time I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Kind of like all my posts, all the marketing I've done, all of the push in my business, all of the daily efforts I've made in my marriage. It didn't seem to have a point when I started doing it. It was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can keep investing in my wife this way. I don't know if I can keep investing in my children this way. No other dude I know is doing this. I don't know if I can continue to invest in my business and my fitness and keep pushing all this forward at the same time. It's too much. I can't do it. And then my mind would trigger back and say, okay, I'm saying that I can't do it because right now I cannot see. So my question for you is, what are you doing to access your endurance every single day? Because your endurance doesn't come back to a doing of things. It comes back to a seeing of your ability to do things. Now, once you see it, you go. This morning, my CrossFit workout, for most people, they're freaking out, oh my God, it's long, it's long, it's long. And I'm like, dude, it's not really long. Why? I've got on my back the experience of years of running and endurance training and football and all of this experience. So when somebody comes in, oh, I don't know if I can make it around the block, I'm like, holy shit, yes you can. I was sitting and getting a coffee a few weeks back, and a guy was like, dude, he saw my Ironman jacket. He's like, I could never do an Ironman. I said, no, you could do an Ironman. But the first thing you'd have to change is your head. Physically, your body could go do an Ironman right now. Even though you're out of shape, you could finish an Ironman. It might take you 24 hours, but you could finish it. Might have to have you hold on to the boat in the water or go in a pool and walk the distance the whole way, but you could fucking do it. You could if you had to. If I put a gun to your children's head and I say, I'm going to shoot all your children and then I'm going to kill your wife and I'm going to kill you if you don't do an Ironman, guess what? You could do an Ironman. I said, the problem is right now your mind is constricted and cannot see even the remnant of possibility. But what did I become for him? An inspiration, a possibility. And I said, dude, you just got to get to the gym and start. So he signed up at CrossFit at my friend's gym the next day, and he started doing CrossFit, messaged me yesterday. He's been doing it for 2 weeks. So start.
No way. Really? That's awesome.
I get people doing, like, people think I'm a fitness trainer. I'm not a fitness trainer. I'm just like, people get focused, you crazies. And the only way to get focused is to get up and take on your fitness in the morning. So coming back then on this idea, the first thing I have to do is be able to see, and the only way I can see is to create conditions for seeing. This comes down to a very simple formula every single day. Your endurance and your function of endurance come back to what you can see. So what did you do this morning when you woke up? How'd you start? We're going to end up our show today. There's a little more scattywampus. I've kind of been all over the place trying to manage like 50 things going on at once with me and Zane. We appreciate you guys enduring with us. I promise these will continue to get more and more powerful as we go on. Hopefully today we're getting some kind of message out there. Holy shit. So here's the game then. You woke up this morning. What did you do right when you woke up? Did you work out this morning? Did you drink something? You want to see what I drink? And I'm not talking about alcohol. This right here is a Vitamix. 72 ounces of this green goodness of fruit and vegetables, or fruit and spinach. I drink every single day in the morning. It's the only thing I consume till about 2 o'clock every day. I work out, I work, and I drink this big-ass smoothie over about an hour. And it gives me life and sustenance. So when I watch people wake up, not work out, drink coffee, and then go to McDonald's and get a McMuffin, and then they show up at meetings and they're like, oh, Garrett, slow down, you're talking too fast. Meanwhile, they woke up at 9 o'clock and they're like, oh, Garrett, how do you get all of that shit done every day? I'm like, well, first off, my mind is operating at full speed. Second off, I've actually got a plan to wake up in the morning and be in power so that I can have endurance. You, on the other hand, are defaulting into be a big-ass pussy mode, which is like, oh, the whole world. And here's the biggest problem. When you're the guy that's like, oh, no, I roll out of bed, blah, blah, and you, like, get all slow in the morning, you just try to find a bunch of people to hang out with that all what? And you become like the fast of the slows. Like there's all your friends are like this. And then there's you. You're like a little bit faster. And then you come to a guy like me who's like, hey, what's up? Let's go. It's like 8 in the morning. You're like, holy shit, who is this guy? What the hell's going on? I'm like, well, dude, I've been up since 4. I worked out. I drank the big-ass smoothie. I sat down. We're going a few minutes over. We meditate. This is my little meditation man. I had a client make this for me a few years back. I'm meditating. Why? Get my mind straight. Next, what do? A study. You want to know what I studied this morning? I'll show you. 2 books. This book, it's called The Second Coming of Christ. The Awakening or the Resurrection of the Christ Within You by a guy by the name of Paramahansa Yogananda. I love it. Freaks out a lot of people, but I love it. This book, 80-20 Marketing and Sales by Perry Marshall. So I fill my mind with sustenance this morning after I meditate. Then I do what? I engage with my children in the morning. I sit down with each one of them and have a conversation. I sit down with my wife and I have a conversation. And I connect with them. This is what I call Core 4. We're going to be talking more and more and more about this as the shows and episodes continue to roll on. But see, can you see how endurance itself is not something that you just get? It's something you create. How do you access it? Your routines in the morning, your habits in the morning. How do you maintain it? Well, that's going to be another conversation for another day. It's tough. What I will tell you is that in order to maintain endurance in anything, you're going to need other people to speak into your life. Period.
Awesome. So, hey, as we're wrapping up, I want to let you guys know that right down below here, if you haven't already subscribed to the Wake Up Warrior channel, there will be a subscribe button. You guys can hit that, and you will be subscribed to the channel. And every time there's a new show, a new video, a new anything, you will be notified instantly, and you can get the inside track. Also, want to encourage you. There's also another button down there that says share. Share this message with your friends. We've had some really intense conversations here today, and there is more to come, so share with your friends and family as well, and come join us in the warrior movement. So is there anything else that you want to wrap up with, Garrett, before we go?
Yes, like 2 more minutes. We got 2 more minutes. All right, I just bought myself 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes. And Zane, you got to say that stuff because I will forget. I'm gonna need a little checklist. I'm gonna need like a little checklist.
There's you should see in your little chat box on the side. It's been dropping messages.
Yeah, I see that. It was like a countdown clock. It's like you got 10 minutes, you got 3 minutes. Then it's like you the show's over, quit talking. Asshole. I'm not kidding. Stop talking. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't quite throw all that in there. All right. So again, coming back then, what is your daily routine in the morning? Number 1. Number 2. Who is speaking into your world when you decide to contract instead of expand? Number 3, what is the purpose that drives you? That's it. Endurance comes down to those 3 things: creating favorable conditions for expansion, allowing other people to speak into your life when you want to quit and break down so that you continue to move, but both of these are they're irrelevant if you don't have a reason for why you're doing what you're doing. This show, not convenient. My radio show on Wednesdays, not convenient. Building all the shit we're building, not convenient. I can tell you right now, there are 375,000 other ways I could make a shitload of money that would be significantly easier than this. So why do I do it? For one simple reason. I feel called to. So when shit gets difficult, I got a high purpose and a reason for what I'm doing. I know that I've been called to do this. I know that I've been called to share it. I know that I've been called to inspire and to lead and to guide, even if it's just through these TV shows and this YouTube show every single week with you, is to give you some guidance. And this week we talked about endurance. And so you're going to take a real intense reality check and look at yourself and say, where am I at? Where am I in my endurance? Where can I take this in my endurance? Where can I go moving forward? And take those 3 steps into account. We've got to get the Wake Up Warrior app and download that, because we've got an entirely new system that we're going to be rolling out inside that app called Core 4, which you'll be learning more about in the month of February. But we're going to wrap up today's show. Zane, do you need to say anything as we wrap up?
You know what? Just another shout out to thank everybody. Caitlin, thank you for your comments. Also, Bryce, for those of you who are watching live, you can always comment during the live show and then even afterwards in the replay. So we encourage your comments. Throw your comments out. Of course, share. And if you click the little button that says show more information, it opens up the description where you'll be able to see all the links to Garrett's blog, to the app, to everything that we've discussed in the show, including what I'm hoping will also be the recipe to your big-ass green smoothie, because I know little bits and pieces of what's going on, but that green smoothie sounds awesome.
It's actually horrible in the beginning. What I mean is like it will destroy your intestines in a good way. In a good way. Cleans the shit right out of you.
Good.
We'll put up a little clip to a video. I actually trained for about 20 minutes and walk through with my iPhone into the grocery store and teach everybody how to make green smoothies. So I'll throw that up in there, and we'll give everybody a chance in the notes here.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll also add the link right here on the video as a clickable annotation. It'll send you right to that video if it's on YouTube. So bring it on.
Oh, fancy pants. I like it. Fancy pants is the name. All right, my friends, we're wrapping up again. We're going to be here every single Monday, and every Monday they're going to get clear and more focused. If you watch the history how I do anything, we ship and then we adjust. I follow Seth Godin's model from linchpin, which is we don't do it perfect, but we do it perfectly honest. And we perfectly honestly pulled this one out of our ass today. So we're going to make it better and better every single week as we go with the commercial breaks and all kinds of fun intensity with this, as well as guests coming into our show every single week. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. This is Garrett reminding you the power in today's marketplace as a modern-day warrior comes down to the simple formula of authenticity. Be real, get raw, stay relevant with a ruthless commitment to creating big-ass results today. And your key message.